you stuck in the DFS cash bubble? Can't quite figure out how to take that leap toward profitable results? Most of us don't have the time needed to keep up on all the news and stats necessary to be a successful player at daily fantasy sports, or the patience to read complicated spreadsheets and charts needed to make informed decisions. That's why at Run Pure Sports, we've simplified the lineup building process to help you create competitive teams. Our content team consists of some of the biggest names in the DFS industry, including BigT, Hoop 2410, JSURab, AP, DraftCheat, Mangone, and much more. Our contributors dominate the leaderboards in both tournament and cash game formats. These players provide you their top plays on a given slate in an easy-to-use format. In our core plays tool, our experts provide you with the players they'll be targeting the most on a given slate. These core plays give you the foundation you need to create competitive lineups. Our playbook is an easy-to-read guide to each slate, which will also help you make informed decisions. Our new cash game chart features the top plays on a given slate provided by our cash game pros Hoop 2410 and Mangone. We've got a page dedicated exclusively to DFS single game content. It's headed up by BigT, one of the top Showdown and MVP players in the world. Ask our experts and fellow premium members directly for lineup advice in our Discord channel, where our members have benefited by winning some of the biggest cash prizes across the DFS landscape. In our premium videos and articles, our experts lay out their favorite plays and strategies for a given slate designed to guide you towards profitability.
Sell me on Aaron Rodgers. You don't need to sell me on Aaron Rodgers because I trust your opinion, but come on, sell me.
So I think this year he's going to come in. He's going to selfishly try and throw as many touchdowns as possible. I think he's going to be a guy who, at the end of the year, we're talking about as an MVP candidate.
Plus, check out our tiers, stack charts, slate plan, projections, and much more to help you make your lineup building decisions. So what are you waiting for? Sign up today at runpuresports.com to gain access at an affordable price. And for just a small added fee, you can also subscribe to our sports betting content on our bet site. Thanks for watching, and keep running pure.
What is going on, everyone? AP over here at Run Pure Sports. I'm here with my two main guys. We're bringing you the Strokes Game show over here, and we're over at Hilton Head at the RBC Heritage. I'm pumped for this event, But first, let's go. We got Uncle T back, but we got to go to Hoop first in the one hole, as we always call it. And Hoop, you had a very nice week. You had a very, big sweat. Our boy Bryson let us down, but talk to us about the week. You were right up there. It was fun to sweat. I was kind of messaging you all weekend. So
yeah, I was, live in the 4K Millie Maker. I put, a few teams in there, and I was hovering right in the top 10 basically all weekend. And then going into Sunday, I was sitting in fourth place, like 20 points back. So definitely live. The lineup had Matsuyama. I ended up getting on Matsuyama kind of late. I was just looking at some stuff. I was like, you know what? I kind of like the price tag on him. 8-3, you're not sacrificing much to play him. He played well here. So I put him in a couple lineups, and, obviously that worked out well. He's only 8%, I think, in that 4K Millie Maker. So that was the difference. Bryson let me down though. I mean, he was in that team. If he would have, been his typical, normal self and competed here, I would have had a chance to take it down, but can't complain with third for 100K. What I will say though is, some of the ownerships. I mean, Rory McIlroy in that event, 4K Millie Maker, he was 16% owned. 16% owned. And, going into the week, I would have been shocked if you would have told me that Rory in that event would have been 16% owned. But, I did a good job last week of just listening to all the content around the industry, consuming it, reading it. And I was baffled. Almost every show, every article was some mention of Rory. And I was like, he is going to have some ownership this week. Thank God. And, it pays for the rank when people do stuff like that. I mean, Rory, to me, was an awful play. I know Uncle T agrees. And then some other names I heard around the industry. Patrick Cantlay. That's all. Every single thing I listened to, Patrick Cantlay. I mean, I didn't hate Cantlay. I ended up getting off of him because of, all the traction and stuff, and so many people talking about him. Brooks Koepka, another name. I'm like, wow, like I feel bad if people are paying for this content. I said they just need to come over and listen to the Tuesday show for free and get on the right track, because some of these names that these people are throwing out, I was baffled by. But yeah, had a nice sweat. It was a lot of fun. Fell a little short, but anytime you can be live for Millie going into Sunday, it makes the event a little more fun.
Yeah, I hear you. And, hindsight for me, I was high on Sergio, and obviously on Friday he shit the bed. Is what it is. It happens. I like taking stands at PGA. That's kind of my new thing. So, but we got Uncle T here. He ditched us for the Wednesday guys, but he's back. I do have to say, so at the Players, obviously the Wednesday night crew, they had us. I mean, you guys absolutely dusted us. Big T won the Millie for sure. The takes were better than ours, but the Master, the Tuesday crew got you guys, So Uncle T, we had you last week. We're glad you're back though. I'm excited to find some winners tonight. Talk to us about your week, and how do you feel about this event this week?
Yeah, it's great to be back on with you two guys. Even though I caught an awful lot of flack from Hoopster on Twitter, on my DMs, text message me, everything. But I know it's all in good fun. But no, congratulations to Hoop again. I was actually over Big T's Saturday night watching some NBA stuff, and he was telling me about that you had a pretty good squad going and everything. So I was pulling for you, and you came up a little bit short, but just an awesome hit by you. Some great calls. Talking about my week, it wasn't actually too bad considering I had quite a bit of Sergio Garcia like you did, AP. So on those teams I struggled, and I think where I probably made the biggest mistake, I tried to make too many stands last week. I didn't have any Rory, didn't have any DJ, didn't have Cantlay, which how did I not win? But I didn't have any Xander or Hideki either. So I think I tried to make too many stands and limit my player pool even more, and that probably cost me a little bit. Now, the non-Sergio teams, I did have Thomas and Spieth on most of those teams. So while they weren't up near the top, they were like mint cashing all weekend. And I was just waiting for one of those leaders to kind of fall and, kind of fall back where I could get either Thomas or Spieth up in the first place at some point to where I could have really done some work. But really, where I did my damage, guys, this week was Showdown. Saturday and Sunday Showdown, I absolutely crushed. Saturday would have been a lot better. We had the right game plan with the weather coming in. I was talking with Big T, Schneider, a couple other guys. We just loaded up on the early guys, knowing that the weather was coming in, and it was a perfect plan for the longest time. The problem was we had, about an hour and 15-minute rain delay. When they came back, there was no wind, and the course was just beautiful. And it softened it up. It allowed Hideki Matsuyama to have 6 birdies in 8 holes, which is where I think he won the golf tournament in that 9-hole stretch when they came back from the rain. He played really well, had, again, 6 birdies to get in that lead, and that won him the golf tournament. So considering I didn't have any of Hideki or Xander, I was real happy with the week. But again, onward to this week at the RBC, and it's actually a pretty good field. I was fully anticipate looking into it and not seeing as strong a field, but we got a really good field this week, and happy to pick some winners in here with you and get some winners for the people.
Yeah, this field is very stacked this week. I'm very excited. Honestly, I love these events. After big events where the edge is a little bit smaller because everyone knows the players at the Masters. I love these events where we kind of have some of these unknown guys in the 6K range that we all dominate. And then I had to go back and look. So this event last year was one of the first events. Maybe it was second or third. It
was the second. The
second event. Okay. I had Webb as an outright here. I know it's not like a bold call or anything, but Hoop had Daniel Berger. He finished T3. And we had a lot of other good picks this week. So we got some shoes to fill. I'm very confident that we're going to have a repeat. Hilton Head. It's a Pete Dye course. Honestly, what I look at here when I was looking back at my notes is I want a good ball striker, and I want guys who are kind of dialed in with their short irons and who are good off the tee and who can make birdies. Uncle T, you're telling me that you were digging into the course a little bit. Outside of that, that's all I'm looking at. I like to keep it very simple now. I know it's the greens and whatever, but for me, I want good ball strikers. I want guys who are making birdies and guys who have a lot of upside right now. So outside of that, Uncle T, is there anything that you want to expand on with this course this week?
Yeah, I mean, when we're looking at this, this field and how we're going to attack it this week, it's actually a complete opposite, in my opinion, of the setup last week at the Masters. I mean, this course is a lot tighter. It's tree lined. It's a par 71 course. It's not overly long, about 7,100 yards, but you got to put the ball in the fairway. And if you go wayward off the tee, you're going to have a problem this week. So, there's some of the smallest greens on tour. So when you do hit in there and you happen to miss the greens, I think it's one of the smallest percentages of greens in regulation on the tour every year. So when you don't hit the green, you better be able to scramble well. So I'll be looking at guys that, again, either can strokes gained on approach, or if they're missing, we need to have those guys that are going to be able to get up and down for par when they do miss the green. But other than that, I mean, again, I'm just going to value accuracy off the tee more than the bomber edge this week.
I like it. If you haven't yet, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. Helps us to bring you this content each and every week. Growing our subscriberships, our YouTube subscribers, definitely a big goal for us. We just want a larger audience, more people to reach, and it motivates us to bring good content. And I know the Tuesday show does that. And, we're going to do it again this week. So I want to skip everything else and dive into the plays. I feel very confident about this week. And if you're a subscriber at Run Pure Sports, you probably know that, because when I looked at it yesterday, I was kind of, in Discord talking about how I love the field and everything. So how we do it, we go tier by tier. We're going to break it down. And let's start with we use DraftKings pricing. I had FanDuel pricing up. So let's go. We got one guy who's 11K, but let's go 10K and up. I'm going to start with Hoopster. Hoopster, talk to me about this range. Who do you like? Is there anyone you don't like? The floor is yours.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, on here every week, I typically try to hit up this top range most weeks. If I feel good with the plays, I'm going to get, overweight on some of these top end golfers. This week's a little bit different, and a lot of it has to do with the course, like you guys both touched on. This isn't a course where the top end golfers have a huge advantage. And this is a course where it brings a lot of different types of players into play. Like, you don't need the distance. Obviously, distance can help if you have it under control, but this week you don't necessarily need it. I can't imagine playing Dustin Johnson at 11-6 this week. Yes, all things considered, he's the best golfer in the field, and I don't think anyone would make an argument against that, but he has a lot working against him. First off, he has not played well at this course. I don't think he has, Uncle T can probably correct me on this, but I don't think he has better than like a T17 finish here. Includes a couple missed cuts as well. The course just really doesn't fit him well. The only reason he's playing here is because he's on that team RBC. And if he wasn't on team RBC, there's no chance he'd be teeing it up at this event. The course does not fit his game at all. 11-6. He's not even the favorite in this event. His odds were better last week at the Masters, where he was like 7 or 8 to 1. This week he's like, I believe, 12 to 1. So 11-6. I'll be off him. And you know what? Most of the field will. I don't anticipate him having high ownership here at all. The next guy, Patrick Cantlay at 10-9. I talked about him in the opening. A lot of people were on him last week at the Masters. Is it a bounce back spot for him? Yeah, sure, baby. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if he came out and played well here. He's a world-class golfer. He's solid. He had 2 really bad weeks, though, and those bad weeks were on the biggest stages, the Masters and the Players' Championship. He missed the cut at both those events, and I mean, honestly, I've watched him golf the last couple of weeks, and he just doesn't. It's just something's off. Like, he's just not all there. He just doesn't look excited to be out there golfing. When he makes a good shot, he misses the putt. I don't know. I'm sure he turns it around at some point, but for 10.9K, I'll take my chances elsewhere. Webb Simpson, I mean, this is basically, it's probably his favorite course to play. Great course history, like AP said, he won it last year. Consistent here with the top tens. I don't know how many he's had, but really, really solid at this event. T12 last week at the Masters, and didn't do anything special last week, just kind of hung around and played solid golf. That's kind of what you get out of Webb Simpson week in and week out. So I'll be on him at the 10-7. I really like Morikawa at 10-5. I mean, this course should fit his game really, really well with the irons, the small greens. He's so accurate with his irons. So I like him. 18th last week, he played well. The one guy that kind of is odd to me, that Cam Smith all the way at 10-2. Yeah, I mean, he's been playing some phenomenal golf. I mean, 4th, 11th, 17th, 10th last week. But I'm not paying 10-2 for Cam Smith. I'm fine. If he beats me this week, if Cam Smith beats me at 10-2, Cam Smith beats me at 10-2, you take it on the chin and move on. I won't be playing him. Berger, I'm always a Berger guy. I'll definitely have some interest in Berger at 10K. My favorite here, man, I really like all three of those guys. I really like Webb. I really like Morikawa. I really like Berger. My favorite, I'll say Webb. I mean, I know he'll probably be the highest owned, but that's fine. He just so steady here. And Webb's one of those guys where, his course history does matter. He tends to play good at the same courses year in and year out. So give me Webb up top, not worried about the ownership. I'll be different in other spots.
Man, my favorite thing that you talked about right there was the commentary on Cantlay. So I'm looking at ownership right now, and I had him circled only to see kind of what, from a cash game perspective, what you might say about him. I think people are going to play him because they're going to look at his history here. T3, T7, T3. They know Cantlay, but look, he's coming off a cut at the Players, a cut at the Masters. I'm not playing this dude. Like, no way. And he has women problem or something? Like, I don't know the whole story behind that, but, maybe Uncle T could tell us about more about that story. But again, I don't see how you can. I hope he's chalk. I hope people play him. If they do, I think he's a fantastic fade. I agree with you there, Hoop. A really good call. Love that. Uncle T, break this range down for me. Who do you like? Are you on anyone different than Hoop? Is there any fades that you feel very good about?
Yeah, going to start off by agreeing with Hoop for the most part. He broke it down very nicely. Dustin Johnson up top. You got a $700 gap between the top players, 11-6 and Cantlay at 10-9. I just can't see how I could play Dustin Johnson. If he was coming in better form, maybe winning a tournament or at least competing the last 4 or 5 weeks, I could see it. But he just hasn't proven it. He won in Saudi Arabia early February and got an 8th at the Genesis after that. And since then, like Hoop said, it just feels like there's just something a little bit off in his game. So at 11-6, that's a hefty price tag. You almost literally have to have him win unless you bank the rest of your lineups. So I'm definitely a hard pass on DJ this week. Similar thoughts on Cantlay. Coming off a couple missed cuts, he does have the good course history here. I was hoping actually he would come in a little bit higher owned, at least off of the preliminary numbers I saw. I got him at 13%. I was hoping he'd be upwards of 17, 18 to where I was going to fade him anyway. I was just hoping his ownership was a little bit higher. I do like Webb Simpson for all the reasons Hoop mentioned. He's got the good course history, the type of course he's playing. I can see why he likes it and comes back every year, and it's one of his favorite courses. It sets up beautifully for his game. Doesn't have to be long off the tee. He's good with his irons and his approach, and he's good around the green. So, again, what's not to like about Webb Simpson this week? So he'll be my favorite guy actually in this range. Morikawa is going to be the one I'm going to probably have to make the hard decision on one way or the other by tomorrow night when I kind of lock in some lineups, and then Thursday morning. Again, just a solid ball striker, one of the best iron players on tour. I do worry about the flat stick because, he has a tendency to where he hits it so well, gets tee to green nicely, and then he just can't make up strokes on the green. So that does worry me a little bit about Morikawa. But if he could put a good a weekend together on the greens, I mean, he could win this tournament by 3 or 4 strokes. There's no doubt in my mind he could. So I'm going to he's the one I'm kind of on the fence with. Cam Smith, again, we've all liked Cam Smith, but at 10-2, that's a hefty price tag and a big steep jump for him to be able to pay. Daniel Berger, I'm always a Daniel Berger guy. So, he had a T3 here last year. He missed the cut last week, I think, by 2 shots at the Masters. So definitely going to buy back in on Danny Berger. So for me in this range, Webb is number 1 and Berger 2. And I still need to kind of make a decision on Morikawa. I may play 3 of these 6 guys, but hard fades on DJ and Cam Smith.
Yeah, you bring up a couple interesting points. First, let me go to Morikawa. Looking at him, like I remember this very well. He finished second at the Charles Schwab, and then he came in, and his ball striking was phenomenal. I believe he was in that playoff, if my memory serves me right. And he didn't get it done, but then he came in here, and I don't know if it was the Pete Dye design or what, but he struggled off the tee. He struggled around the green. His approach game, he was good off the tee, but he struggled tee to green. His approach game was bad, and his around the green game and putting game was really bad. So if you need any reason to be off of him, I think these small greens. So the other thing about this course, small greens that we're going to see on the tour. So if he's not hitting these greens, I do have some concerns about him. I agree with you guys. Webb, very, very safe play this week. I feel very good about him. My favorite play in this range is Daniel Berger. I love where his game's at. He played very good here last year. He's coming off a miscut at the Masters. So my thing there is he had 2 days off. He's a guy that, he's gunning for wins. He won the AT&T Pro-Am not too long ago. I think he's in such good form outside of what we saw at the Masters. I think this is an event that he could definitely win, or top 5, or definitely be up there. So for me in this range, I love Daniel Berger. I love Webb. I think I'll probably be fading everyone else in this range. So very similar to you guys. Let's go down to this 9K range. Let me kick it back over to you, Hoop. Talk to me about this range.
Yeah, I'm going to have some trouble here because I like a lot of these guys, and I know I can't play them all. It's a very appealing range. A lot of guys that I really enjoy playing. I mean, right at the top, Will Zalatoris, he was on that lineup that was live going into Sunday. And, man, was he impressive, Will Zalatoris, all week long. I mean, just completely unrattled all weekend, just solid out there mentally. The game is, just in great form. He's going to be a problem for these guys moving forward because I think he is very, very solid. And he is one of these guys where you watch him, I don't care what the stats say, he doesn't have a weakness. There is no weakness in this guy's game. He is solid all around. And I really like him at 9.7. I don't know what the ownership's going to be because it's a big price jump for him. I mean, we're not used to paying 9.7 for Zalatoris. I'm going to be on him, and I don't care. I just think he's a really, really solid golfer. He's been playing a ton. It just doesn't affect him. I mean, just goes out there, makes cuts. Now these made cuts are turning into solid finishes. I mean, he's been top 22 in 5 straight events, and those were some big boy fields. Masters, the Players, the Arnold Palmer, the Workday, the Genesis. This guy's good. I'm going to be on him. Hatton, undecided. I'm curious to see what you guys have to say about Hatton. Corey Connors, he was the one guy last week. People were taking the old victory lap on Corey Connors after hole 1. He bogeyed that first hole, and golf Twitter was he's the easiest fade of the week, blah, blah, blah. Well, what do you know? He turns it into a top 10. He's just solid. I mean, how can you argue with what he's done lately? I mean, look at these results. 3rd, a 7th, a 14th, 8th. At the Masters, one of those, the Players, the Arnold Palmer, maybe he's just a really good golfer. How about that? I'm going to be on Corey Connors. I don't care. People will say the greens are too small for him. That's fine. I mean, he's just really, really good. Paul Casey, just playing phenomenal golf. Last week was somewhat of a disappointment, but he turned it on in that 4th round. I mean, the disappointing part of his game in the first 3 was the putting. Then he switched to the hand grip. He did the reverse and putted very well on Sunday. So hopefully he continues on with that reverse grip, the hands the opposite way. And, 9.2, I think, is a very fair price tag for him. Matthew Fitzpatrick, I've been playing Matthew Fitzpatrick every single week. Last week, it didn't work out all that well at the Masters. That's fine. I mean, he made the cut. He battled. I mean, one or two more birdies, and he's up in a top 20 spot instead. He's top 34. Still like Matthew Fitzpatrick. Sung Jae, I'll probably end up passing on him. He was disastrous last week. I'll be fine. The course probably does fit Sung Jae pretty good, but you have to make some stands. I still probably have to cut one of the guys that I talked about because it's a lot of guys up top to be on. But it's tough though because I really like Zalatoris, I really like Connors, I really like Casey, and I like Fitzpatrick. Fitzpatrick would probably be my fourth, so maybe he's the guy I end up getting rid of.
It's Hoop, you say something like that really kind of hits home for me. I think what some people do with PGA and DFS is they maybe look at it like a hitter in baseball or something, or a shooter in basketball that has a big night or a big day hitting the ball. And they're like, he's not going to do it again. The thing is in golf with a Corey Connors, he's in good form. He's playing good. That's when you want to get on him. I don't overthink it. Play these. I think that's what you do very well. I think that's what our team does very well. Yeah. And I think I used to be, if I go back a year or two, I think I used to make that mistake too. I'd be like, oh, he finished T8 or he finished T7th at the Masters or 3rd at the Arnold Palmer. He's not going to do it again. Yeah, he did. He just did it. He went 3, 7, 14, 8. He's might be the best play this week. Cause he finished T21 at this event not too long ago. So very good. I agree with you there. Before I kick it over to Uncle T, again, if you're a member or not, but our content help you win, go over to Instagram, go to Twitter, shout us out, tag our accounts there at Run Pure Sports. Use the hashtag members never win. We're going to talk about you because our members do win, and we love to see you guys win. So again, go over there at Run Pure Sports, Instagram, Twitter, tag your winnings over there. We will shout you out. Uncle T, talk to me about this 9K range.
Yeah, before I get into that, I got a comment about what you guys were just talking about, and I agree with you. In golf, even more so than any of the other sports, in my opinion, instead of bucking the trend of a guy playing well, you got to go with it. You got to go with it until he goes the other way. It's, at least in my opinion, everything's random. Golf's random. Basketball day-to-day is random. Baseball, obviously, but I think in golf, you want to go with that hot guy more than ever. That's why when I break these down every week, and again, we all have our different ways of doing it, I go by course history and most recent form more than probably most do. And I just think it's been successful for me, and I know you guys do it a lot as well. So, but just to put a cap on that, but to go around this, or go into this group, Will Zalatoris, I didn't mention it in my open and recap of last week. He's the one that I'm more upset that I didn't play last week because I've been on him since January, almost every week. And for whatever reason, I did not include him in my player pool last week, and it cost me. So I am going to go right back to Will Zalatoris because I don't think clearly the stage is too big for him because he proved that last week. The only thing I do worry a little bit about is, that was 4 action-packed rounds. He played in the final group on Sunday. Just the emotion and the letdown, if you will, of getting close, obviously not finishing, coming in second. And then, coming right back in playing this week. That's the only thing I could think in a negative way of why I wouldn't play him.
But the one just to hop in though, the way he looked and the way he played, I don't think he would view that second place as a letdown. You know what I'm saying? I bet he is hyped.
More of a physical letdown, not mental.
Yeah. Physical. Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. So, and then, so I'm definitely going to have some Zalatoris. He's going to be probably in this group. He's definitely, I think, going to be the highest owned, him and Fitzpatrick. Not that I'm worried about, because again, we're going to talk about a lot of guys down below that we're going to be able to play at low ownership. Tyrrell Hatton, I just don't know what to do with him. He's just not playing, very good golf. I think he's 6th or 7th in the world still, but he just hasn't proven it. 18th finish, a miscut, 21st, 22nd, very respectable finishes. But again, for $9,500, I don't want a T20. I want a guy to be able to, maybe a top 5 or top 10 for that price. So I'm probably going to be out on him. Corey Connors, I'm just going to keep playing him like you guys are for the same reasons you mentioned. Paul Casey's the one I'm probably going to hop off. And for no other reason than I like a lot of these other guys, and I'm not playing all 6. So I'm not going to probably play Hatton. I'm not going to play Casey. His course history here is not the greatest. So he's coming off at 26 last week, was, again, made the cut, respectable finish, but no course history. So that's going to be my tiebreaker on Casey. I do like Fitzpatrick. Again, nothing not to like. Similar to Webb Simpson. He's got that game where he's not long off the tee. He's good with his irons, and he can really get hot with a flat stick. So I definitely like Matt Fitzpatrick. My hardest fade of the week has got to be Sung Jae. I got to talk you out of even maybe putting him in your player pool hoop. I can't see it.
That's all I needed. That's all I needed to hear.
Bad course history, coming off the miscut last week. He shot 80-77 last week, and he was in shambles at 80 that he shot. I think he took like a 9. I think he took, it was on a par 4. I'm pretty sure he took an 8 or a 9, and then he just totally collapsed. So no good course history, coming off a bad miscut. No Sung Jae for me, but definitely going to play some Zalatoris, Connors, and Fitzpatrick. So I like 3 of these guys.
Yeah, the problem with Sung Jae is he has 2 like I'm looking at ball striking, approach, and then, birdies around the green, keeping it very simple. Dude, his approach has been very bad. So it's like irons aren't there. And around the green has been very bad too. So I think he's an easy fade. I'm off of him. I think this range is kind of easy for me too. It's Corey Connors for me. Why change? It's not broke. Like this course sets up so good for him. He ranks 1st ball striking, 3rd in approach. Like this guy is like making hole-in-ones almost all the time. Like every event we see, he is almost making an ace. It seems like that's how dialed in his irons are. His approach game is. It's crazy. And then Zalatoris, like this kid. Like if you go back, I pulled it up. Not just like since he joined the PGA Tour, but go look at what he did on the web.com or whatever they call it tour. And like this dude was a top 5 machine, almost every single event, 9th, 6th, 3rd, 4th, 1st, 5th, 6th, 5th, 2nd, 6th, like literally every single event was up there. Like this guy is just, I think he is maybe a top 5 golfer in the world eventually. Like for sure top 10. I mean, he's up there. Put him up there with it's loaded when you get up there. But I think this guy is definitely for real. I think his peers think so too. Everyone always talks highly of him, and I think it was Hoop that brought that up weeks ago, maybe months ago. Like I think you were the first one that said that. And I'm like, that's if your fellow peers are like talking highly of you, you're probably very good. So I have a ton of interest in Zalatoris. I'm not worried about the 2nd place finish. I think he's almost like a Sung Jae last year, who Sung Jae, if you don't know, played almost every single event. He played like 30 events last year, and he just got better the more events that he played. I think Zalatoris is the same way. So I don't care that he finished 2nd. I think he has top 10 upside here, which at 9.7, that's what you need. So for me, it's Connors, it's Zalatoris. I think I'll be off Hatton. I think he's a fine play. It's just I got to make some stands. I think I'll be off Casey too. You got to make some stands, and I like the ranges. 8K, 7K, 6K, and I'm going to be off Sung Jae, off a sprinkle Fitzpatrick, but it'll really be Corey Connors and Zalatoris for me. Uncle T, did you give your 1 and 2 in this range?
Yeah, it'd probably be Fitzpatrick 1 and Zalatoris 2.
Who?
Zalatoris and Connors.
I like
it. It was a good point you brought up about the Connors thing, just to circle back. A lot of people, I feel, try to get ahead of the curve on when a guy's gonna, fall back down to earth. Okay. And like a guy like Connors, at what point do these people just admit that maybe Corey Connors is a lot better than they thought? The problem is they see these results and they say, that's Corey Connors. Like he's got to crack. He's got to come falling back down to earth. Why can't we think about Corey Connors and say, hey, maybe he took that leap to the next level. Maybe he found something in his game. That's my approach with a guy like Corey Connors.
Yeah.
Prove me wrong, Corey Connors. Go out there and prove me wrong. Have 3 bad weeks in a row, and I'm not going to play you. I've been playing Corey Connors. We've been playing Corey Connors. We think he took that leap. The other people in the industry think he's playing above his head. So let's see what it is. As it's been going, we're on the right side of this because he's been playing phenomenally well.
Yeah, I'll take it a step further, Hoop, is just wait till he makes a few putts. I mean, as good as ball striking's been for 6-8 weeks now. Wait till he makes a couple putts and gets hot on the greens. It's gonna be scary how good he is.
Yeah.
So one thing I love about Fantasy National, that's one of the sites I use. They're not a sponsor or anything like that, but we'll shout them out anytime because they have a great product over there. But like I look at this last 24 rounds and it's a graph, kind of like, so I'm a finance guy. This is like a chart and it's a trending, last 24 rounds. And, if it's trending upwards, it means they're putting good. If it's trending downwards, it means they're putting bad. Like, an example is Collin Morikawa. His putting trend is down. Actually, DJ, his putting trend is down. You know whose putt trend is up and up quite a bit? Corey Connors. So maybe, if he fixes his putter, that's just massive. He's going to continue banking top 10 week over week if his putter stays the same, because everything else is so good about his game. So I love Connors this week. I think he's an absolute smash play. So we have a promo going on right now. Get bets. Go over to our website. Sign up for our monthly Elite Plus Bets option. Throw in the code Get Bets. You're going to get the bet site for free for 1 month. Those guys are absolutely crushing it. Literally just the other day, I think they went 10-0 one day.
Last night.
Last night.
Yep.
And so I know Hoop has had a ton of good plays over there. I know Tony gave out a plus 400 winner, and then just the bet team in general, spread, Joey Work, Tyler, all those guys, JJ. All of those guys absolutely crush and are fantastic. So if you're not a member over there, go use the code GetBets to get some money in your pocket. Let's go down to the 8K range. Hoop, I'm going to kick it over to you. I like this range. A lot of our guys are in this range. I'm very excited about it. Talk to me about it.
Yeah, I don't think I'm as excited in this range just because I know I can't be, because I like too many guys above this range. So it's hard for me to fall in love with these guys, but there are some guys I do really like here. The first is Answer. Again, he's close to that 9K, but another guy just playing solid golf. At the T26, the bullshit penalty. That is so stupid. That's something that the PGA needs to fix. And whoever brought up that point about, unless they have that cam in every single bunker, that exact angle, and they're looking at every single person's bunker shot, you cannot assess him a 2-shot penalty there. That is complete Bush League garbage, something the PGA needs to fix. Like that, complete bullshit. So yeah, that's my rant about Answer and the dumb penalty that he got in the Masters. But I'm going to go back to him. 8.9K. He's just playing really solid golf. I believe second last year, right? He finished second here, I believe.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yes,
so good course history here. I'm going to be on him. Fleetwood, 8.8K. I haven't been playing him. The price tag is pretty nice. I'm going to take my chances and fade him. Brian Harman, another guy that just treats us really, really well. He was on Big T's Millie team. He was on my team last week. I just think he's better than people give him credit for. Yeah, the price is up a little bit at 8.7, but I'm gonna be on Harman. The rest of the guys though in this range, I'll probably be off. I know Kuchar has a good course history here. Who the hell knows what you're going to get out of Matt Kuchar? Maybe you guys have something that can kind of turn me around here, but I'll probably be off Kuchar. Maybe I could be talked into Billy Horschel. 8.2 seems like a pretty good price tag for him, but he hasn't been all that good lately. Cut 58th and 50th. I don't know. I feel pretty good being underweight in this range, with the exception of Answer and Harman.
Yeah, I like that. And, the more I look at this range, it's just one guy I really like. So before I get to, maybe two, but Uncle T, talk to me about this range. Do you agree with Hoop? Is there anyone else that you're on? Anyone that you feel very confident about fading?
Yeah, similar to Hoop, I do like a couple more guys in this range. Now, when I first started looking at some possible builds earlier today, the stars and scrubs, if you will, verbiage was something that I think could work this week. We already talked about some of the 9 and 10K guys that we like. this range could be a forgotten range. But if I do make maybe a build where I don't start all the way up to top and maybe start with a Zalatoris or someone like that, I will find myself in this range. And I do like Abraham Answer. You want to talk about a guy that's just been playing well. I mean, he hasn't had any top 10 finishes, but he did finish T2 here last year. He's going to be high owned again. That's the part that might keep me off because, again, I like Fitzpatrick. We like Zalatoris. We've already talked about Webb Simpson. While we can get different, I don't want 4 or 5 of those guys that are high. Again, maybe Hoop and Cash Games is obviously thinking a little bit, along different lines, and I agree with him. So I do like Abraham Answer. I'm probably off Fleetwood. I've been on him a couple times the last few weeks, and he just doesn't do anything. He's a pretty decent ball striker, but just can't put 4 rounds of consistent golf together. He had the hole-in-one. I can't remember which hole it was. Didn't he have the hole-in-one last week, or was that somebody? It might have been.
Yeah, he had it on the.
Okay.
On the
16 or 8.
Yeah, I think it was on 16.
Yeah. So I just, I like him as a golfer. He just hasn't treated us very well. Brian Harmon, again, he's missed 1 cut since November. I don't know if fatigue's going to eventually set in for Harmon. $8,700. He's got decent course history here. 28th. He missed a cut at 23rd and 9th. Going back a little bit of ways. So I don't know what I'm going to do with Brian Harmon yet. I do like Sergio Garcia, and I know you guys aren't probably going to like that, but I feel like I'm invested a little bit with Sergio. He clearly let me down. He was a core play of mine last week and just didn't play well. He just didn't play well, but I'm not going to, he's a good ball striker and he hits it well off the tee. And here, I think at this course, like we talked about, you got to be able to hit the ball straight off the tee. And Sergio has been one of the better strikers of the ball off the tee, in the last 5-6 years. So I am going to probably go back to Garcia and hoping that his ownership, I see it around 10 or 11% now, and I'm very happy with that. So 1 miscut, I'm not going to, call in the tank on him. So I will have him. The one guy I wanted to get y'all's take, neither one of you, well, Hoop hasn't, or AP hasn't talked yet, but Shane Lowry, it just feels like, he's going to come in so low owned, and I never play this guy, but it feels like it's a course setup that could be pretty good for Lowry. So I want to get your all's take in a minute on him. But as you go down, the only other guy I got interest in is Matt Kuchar at the bottom. He's got really good course history. He hasn't been very consistent lately. Obviously played good at the match play and had a 12th place finish in there the last three times out. So I do have a little bit of interest in Kuchar, but again, my builds probably won't land me too much in this range. So I don't want to, kind of go overboard for sure.
Yeah. So about Sergio, when you pull up like what he did at this course, he finished 5th, but he gained almost 10 strokes on approach alone. Like if you're gaining 10 strokes on approach at any course, you would think you would win that event, not get 5th or worse. I mean, that's just an insane number. I know I was on him last week and kind of for different reasons, because I was heavier on guys with strong course history, guys who had played it a ton, which is Sergio. So I thought I was just going to get, grinded out 2 days and then, he would get it done in one of the rounds, kind of like what we saw from Paul Casey. But obviously Sergio shit the bed and hit it in the water on the easiest hole on the course. So I think I get where you're at with him. Can he again gain that many strokes on approach? That's I thought he had one of his best ball striking rounds ever at the Heritage last year. I think it'd be very difficult for him to repeat that, especially off a missed cut at the Masters. I'm so torn. I get the play. His putting Big T. I remember he's closing his eye. He's closing his eyes when he's putting. It's just
the only thing I'll mention though, AP, is he's only $8,600 though, if not to sway you, but you're not paying a top premium in a field that's not. It's not a bad field, but it's clearly not a loaded field. $8,600, I think, is more than fair to buy back in one more week. But I'll be on him.
So Shane Lowry, interesting point. I need him to be 7-7, 7-8, 7-9. I don't know if I want to really waste a mid 8K. I'd rather get overweight on Abe Answer. Abe Answer is the guy I like in this range. He's been very consistent. I think he's very close to, again, he finished 2nd here. He had an opportunity to win at this place. I think Pete Dye track. I think this is a place that he has to think, that he could win at. And I think at 8-9, he gives us top 15 upside in a field that isn't as stacked. I mean, it's a stacked field for sure, but I feel very good about Abe Answer. Brian Harman, again, I think he's very safe. Man, he showed some emotion at the Masters when he was missing putts at the end. He wasn't like in contention, but I know I was rooting for him hard because I know Hoop had him and needed, he missed so many birdie putts, man. It was ridiculous. So you do wonder about the mental fatigue there, missing those. Like, he's a good putter. He never misses those putts that he missed. I mean, it was painful to watch. It really was. And I know Hoop, you were rooting for him hard, but I don't know what to do with him. Like, Abe Answer's the guy I like in this range. I'm not going to play Tommy Fleetwood. I'm not going to play Lowry. I don't think I'm going to play Harris English. I don't know. I mean, I like Lee Westwood. I don't like Lee Westwood. He kind of hit his stride and then he's kind of been sucking. So I take my comment back. Like, it's Abe Answer in this range for me. And then I do like Matt Kuchar. So Matt Kuchar, if you look, I remember this, like, his game was trash, like really, really bad. He came to this event and he was like not in it at the end, but I remember on Sunday, he did nothing. Like, I think he shot a 70 when everyone else was shooting, a 64, 65, 66. So he just, the field just lapped him on that final day. I do think his game has improved. We've seen signs of that. The match play looked good. The T12 with the Valero obviously missed the cut at the Masters, but I do think it was on the number or close on the number. So I do have some interest in Matt Kuchar, but the guy I feel very good about in this range is Abe Answer. Do you guys want to give a 1 and 2?
Yeah, I mean, the only two I'm really on, I think, it's going to be Answer and Harman. The Lowry thing, though, is if it's going to be windy here, I think you could, look to Lowry. He's a really good wind player.
I like that. Uncle T?
Yeah, I think the weather, Hoop, at least that I saw, was going to be pretty good all weekend. Okay. I know Saturday they said maybe some rain, but I haven't heard anything about wind. But you're exactly right. Lowry, a good wind player if that does come into play. For me, clearly number 1 is Abe Answer, and number 2 is going to be Sergio Garcia. But I will have a share or two of Matt Kuchar down there at 8K.
Oh, we got a question. My boy Clint asking about how is, I think it was, Harman's putting trending.
I know it was bad. I know it was bad on Sunday. I can tell you that much.
Yeah,
I watched every single putt.
So I don't think they're pulling any Masters stats. So right before the Masters, the chart was very good, and then I think it took a dip at the Masters, which those greens are tough. They're very tough. And then also, shout out to Landa. We drink whiskey on the Tuesday show. That's exactly what we do. I got my cocktail I always make. It's fantastic. With that in mind, let's go down to the 7K range. Hoop, I'm going to kick it back over to you. Talk to me about this range. There's another range where I think we have some very, very good plays down here. Some guys that I definitely want to get overweight on.
Yeah, there's definitely some solid options here. And it starts at the top. I mean, I'm not like a Siwoo Kim guy, but I like playing guys that are playing well, and he's been playing really well. 9th at the Players, 23rd at the Valero, 12th at the Masters. He's like 40-1 to win here. He brings you that winning upside. I will say, though, like, I don't think I've ever successfully rostered Siwoo Kim. So if I do play him, you might want to be off him, but he's playing really well. Henley is a guy that's course fits really well. I believe he has a good course history here, coming off the T3 at the Honda. So 7.9K. He's in play. Charlie Hoffman, another guy, good course history, been golfing well lately, has made a lot of cuts in a row. Looks like 6 straight made cuts with 4 of those finishes in the top 20. So I think Hoffman should be on your radar this week. Brandon Grace, I typically don't play, but he's had some good results lately. 5 out of 6 missed cuts, 4 of those T26 or better. I don't know how much I'll have him. I don't think he'll be popular. So if you do play him, you probably only need a little bit to get over the field. Matthew Wallace, a guy I was on last week at the Masters and finished T34th. That's not great, but he was only 6.4K. So, I mean, you're just looking for a guy to make a cut and pick up some birdies, and he did that last week. That's 3 made cuts in his last 4 tries. He finished 3rd at Valero. I'm going to give him another chance here at 7.5K. Our boy Chris Kirky, 7.5K, I think is one of the worst prices on the board, just a missed price. He's been playing really, really well lately. 5 straight made cuts, 2 top 10s, 4 T25s or better. The price tag to me is just off. I'll be on him for sure. Man, it pains me, but Sammy Burns, I don't know if I can do it. Sammy Burns was like the original RPS golfer guy, and he has not been good lately. 3 straight missed cuts, some bad performances, really erratic up and down type stuff. Pains me to say it, but I don't think I'm going to be on Sammy Burns this week. Streelman at 7.3. This course should set up well for him. I think he's definitely in play. Brendan Todd, another guy. This course fits him perfectly. Hit fairways, hit greens, make putts. I mean, that's Todd's game. 7.3. I think he's a good option. Let's see. Anything else? I think that's about it for me in this range.
I mean, it's a stacked range. The one thing about Siwoo, and I gotta confirm with our guy Coop. I think his article's up. It might be in there, but I do believe Siwoo is a Pete Dye guy. So I just anytime we get a Pete Dye course, whenever I read Coop stuff, I try to read all the content, and I always read Coop's article. And I know every time we have a Pete Dye course, Siwoo Kim is in there. So that's just and he's playing very good. So. I agree with a lot of those plays, and I think I have a few other guys in this range too that I think are smash plays. But Uncle T, talk to me about this range. Who are you on?
Yeah, agree with quite a bit of what Hoop said there. I like more of the top end range of the 7K. When we get down towards the bottom, I've only got 1 or 2 guys I'm really interested in. So. Again, not liking really the 8K range a ton. I'm going to find myself in this probably $7,400 to $7,900 range. That being said, another guy that I think is mispriced is Siwoo Kim. When I first looked at it, he was $7,900. It just felt like he's a guy that could have been $8,300, $8,400 in this field. So I'm fully on board with Siwoo, similar to Hoop. I don't seem to roster him when he's on, so
it's painful. It's painful.
Definitely. I'm probably 1 for my last 10 rostering him, so take that into consideration. Henley McIntyre.
Whoa, 1 for 10?
Oh, I'm horrible.
Oh, that's like all of us. No.
I am always on the wrong side of Siwoo. I know that.
Oh, that's not good. I am too.
I know people just say that shit. A lot of people say, "Oh, I'm always on the wrong side of this guy, that guy." I can guarantee you for a fact I'm on the wrong side of Siwoo.
He's probably my most tilting golfer that I rostered, to be honest, the last couple of years. But as you go down again, Charlie Hoffman, good course history. We got JSU's boy, Mr. Buzenhoten. He played pretty well last week. What did he finish last week? He ended up finishing 40th, but I think he faded a little bit on the weekend. He played very well. The 2 guys I like the most probably are Kevin Kisner and Ian Poulter, right there next to each other. Kevin Kisner has gone on record to say this is his favorite course on tour. So, and the way he's played here is definitely proven it. Really good course history. He's coming off a couple missed cuts, and I'm hoping that, again, I always say it, and it's a narrative. Probably I got too much in my head. I kind of like it when a guy has been playing pretty good golf and maybe misses a cut or 2. It doesn't show a long history or a trend, maybe 4 or 5 weeks of not playing well where we can hop off. So I kind of like that. He's going to a place that, again, is familiar to him and he plays well at. So Kisner is very, very high on my list this week. And Ian Poulter, Poulter's been so up and down. He's coming off of a couple missed cuts, a 26th place finish, nothing that really stands out to you. But then you look at the course history. He's got 4 straight top 14 finishes here. So again, at $7,600, if he finishes 20th this week, I'll be pretty happy with that. So I will be on board with him. Brandon Grace, I get it, but I just don't think I can. I don't think I can go to Brandon Grace. Matt Wallace, I played a lot last week as well. Actually, I played him on Showdown a couple nights, and he treated me well. Chris Kirk, we're all on Chris Kirk. I he's obviously the other mispriced guy in this range for sure. He could actually be up where Siwoo is, up there at 7,800, 7,900 easily in this type of a field. I'm not going to go back to Sammy Burns. I just need to see it. He's definitely a guy that he's lost his confidence for sure. He was playing so well, and now it just feels like he can't get anything done. So I'm going to take a wait and see approach, see if he can start turning it back around before I roster him. Strill Daddy's a great fit for this course. I definitely will be on some Kevin Streelman, coming in about 8% owned down there at 7,300. So fully on board with our boy Strill Daddy. As you go down, one of my favorite plays in this low 7K range, Adam Hadwin. Might be a contrarian play. I don't know. It feels like at 7,100, he's a very good value play. He's made the cut here. Not anything real high finishing, but again, at that price tag, he's a solid golfer. He had a T8 a couple weeks ago, playing some good golf. So I like Adam Hadwin. The only other guy I'm interested down here is maybe some JT Poston. He's been pretty bad lately as well, but he does have 2 top 10s his last 2 trips here. So maybe, again, going back to a course where he's played well the last couple of years, maybe he can find it again. I like me some JT Poston, $7,100.
I got a good idea for, a nice little bet if you want to slide in, Uncle T, a guy in Hadwin's range. Before I get to that though, so here's the thing. There's a lot of guys I like in this range. I'm going to 150 max that 15 again. It's with golf, it's something I'm really starting to embrace. And, I like. I'm taking a ton of stands up top. We already talked about a ton of different fades. I'm literally going to fade, anyone that I said I was going to fade up top, I'm probably just exiting them out of the player pool. But I am going to open it up down in this range because I do think a lot of these guys are in play. I got stars by Siwoo, Henley, Hoffman. A lot of these guys, I'm going to set them to where, if Siwoo, we all laughed about him. I'm going to set it to where, if he sucks, he's not going to kill me. I'll be in line with the field. I will be overweight on some of these guys, but, Henley, Hoffman, Kisner, Poulter, all guys I have check marks by. Kirky is one guy, though, I will say I will take a much harder stand. I'll be definitely 3-4 times the field on Kirky. I just think he's mispriced. I think he's better than a lot of these guys. I mean, he's another guy like Corey Connors, playing very well right now. His game is just so sound. One guy I really like when we're talking about birdie makers, Sebastian Munoz. So this guy on the final day at the Masters, started off so bad. And I was talking to our boy Pensac. I'm like, Pensac's like, oh, he'll be fine on the back. This dude rattles off 6 or 7 birdies in a row. I mean, when he gets going, there's very few that can there's a bunch that can hang with him, but this guy is just turns into a birdie machine. I'll have interest in him. He finished T28 here. So he obviously, just played it last year, knows the course. I'll have interest in Streelman, Emiliano Grillo. Grillo is a good ball striker, good off the tee, very bad around the green and a bad putter, but he's coming off a 6th place finish at the Corrales Punta Cana, so he's bringing in some decent form. I'm off Wise. I'm off Fratelli. I'm off Zach Johnson. Not going to play him. So, all right, on to my guy that, if you want to slide in, I don't think anyone's going to play this guy or maybe a few, but he actually won here before. CT Pan, 7,100. He won here 2 years ago in 2019. He's made 4 straight cuts here. He just randomly pops at these events that we really want to target ball strikers. So he's a guy I'm not going to press the lock button. He's not going to be a workbench type play. I'm gonna be overweight on him, and it's not in multi-entry. If you're multi-entering, it's not hard to get overweight on him because he's going to be 2 to 3% home, and
should be 0%.
You don't like CTP?
Nope.
CT Pan?
He should be 0.
That should be 0. I couldn't imagine. I couldn't imagine clicking his button.
CT Pan versus Hadwin. All right, Uncle T.
That's a little Big T rubbing off on Uncle T.
That's playing CT Pan.
That's a Big T comment.
I
like it.
For lunch next week, okay? Since Big T's out for 2 weeks, I feel bad. I don't want Uncle T to go hungry. Let's do it. You're buying me Chipotle, or I'm buying you whatever you want.
All
right, we'll do it.
On the show,
CT Pan versus Adam Hadwin.
Now, as most people.
Oh, what a disaster of 2 golfers.
Yeah, two bad golfers, by the way. Yeah, I mean, I usually play 3 to 5 lineups. Again, last week I played a few more because of the major. So I don't play and run the MME stuff. So again, if I was playing and running a lot of lineups, I could definitely see taking some sprinkles of these guys and even see T-Pan down here. But for what I play, there's no way I can click on that button. I mean, you have nothing really to go. He had a third place finish a couple weeks ago, but before that, he's been a complete disaster. So, that'll be a nice one.
I'm telling you, that's how this guy is. He's a disaster until he isn't. So
he wears bad clothes. He wears bad clothes too. He's on the bad clothes team too, like with Kevin Na and Patrick Cantlay.
So
Harmon,
all right, Uncle T.
Harmon,
Cantlay.
So this guy is a little bit, maybe more in your range, but another guy I'll have a little bit of interest in is Lucas Glover. He's made 4 or 5 cuts here, all decent finishes. Coming off a 4th place finish at the Valero and coming off 5 straight made cuts. I think his putting's trending upwards as well. He's 7-1. So I mean,
just when you have me thinking negative thoughts about your picks, then you just recover so beautifully with Lucas Glover. I could click on him
like him
10 times over CT Pan. That's a good call.
I got you.
I like that.
I like the Glover call.
I like it.
So, yeah.
Yeah, so my favorite plays though in this range, hands down, Chris Kirk, by far. Like beyond, like definitely my favorite play. And then my second favorite play is, probably Charlie Hoffman. He's been playing so good. Mm-hmm. It's him or Sebastian Munoz, but Kirk is hands down. If I had to click anyone in this range, it would definitely be him. Kick it back over to you guys, 1 and 2 in this range.
Yeah, I'm gonna go Kirky with you, and then I'm going with my boy Matt Wallace. I've been riding Matt Wallace. I've been playing well. So give me Matt Wallace.
Yeah, I
do like
that's one guy I missed. So
yeah, I do like those. I definitely like Kirk, but I'm going to go with Siwoo Kim. I'm going to try to get on board and have him produce for Uncle T for once. Siwoo Kim, and then Kevin Kisner.
So, oh man, I'm just looking at this right now. Like, this is just funny. So, like, everyone was talking up this Nang guy. Like, I gotta take NBA real quick because, like, this is just what I don't get. He didn't start yesterday. Now, all the guys like Royce O'Neal he always plays like 40 minutes every single game. Now he's out. Nang is just like, man, he is going nuts, and no one played him.
I played
him. He's like 9% owned. It's crazy.
I played him a day late. I had him last night in that Utah build, and he had like 4 points.
I'll tell you who sucks at basketball, by the way. Rudy Gobert is actually awful at basketball. I watched that game last night.
Yeah,
I played him for some damn reason. He is not very good at playing basketball.
Yeah, he definitely is not good. But we are now to one of my favorite, anytime we get a field, actually this field is a little bit more stacked than I would like for the 6K range. You guys know when it's like a field where like there's no one, like where we get where like Chris Kirk would be 10K. Those type of fields I love when we get down to the 6K range. But I do think there are some nice plays down here. Some that are just like easily could be like 7-4, 7-3. So Hoop, let me kick it over to you first. Start us off in the 6K range.
Yeah, I mean, the way this field sets up, I mean, there's just a ton of there's a lot of volume down here. There's a lot of guys under 7K in the field this week. It seems like it's got to be close to like half. Starting at the top, Doug Gim at 6.9K. Had that collapse at the Players, missed the cut at the Honda, bounced back, made the cut at Valero, finished 44th. I'm going to take a chance on Doug Gim. Like, I was really impressed with those first 3 rounds at the Players. Ran into that buzzsaw, obviously, in JT, and it really, he was rattled there. It was his first time in that spot, and he fell apart. I'm going to give him another chance, 6.9K. My boy Werenski is here at 6.7K. I'd be remiss not to mention him. I'm not going to be overboard on him. I mean, we're talking a couple miscuts, but those were tough events. I mean, the Players, he missed the cut. The Honda's a tough event. I mean, that course was difficult. So give me, I'll be playing a little Werenski. Big T's boy, Chase Seifert here at 6.7. I mean, Seifert's made 4 straight cuts, 3 top 20s. Like, I just think he is solid. And like, these are the only sort of events that he gets the opportunity to play in. And he typically takes advantage of the opportunity. So at 6'7", I like him. Stuart Sink, 6'7", coming off that nice week last week at the Masters, finished 12th there, 19th before that at the Honda. I like him at 6'7". My boy Nick Taylor, I mean, just seems mispriced at 6'6". Like, the results haven't been great, but again, he was playing at some of these tougher field events. This one I don't think is as tough. The course fits him well. I'll definitely have some Nick Taylor at 6'6". Coming down, Robbie Shelton at 6'3", I think is an interesting play. The results have been very, very bad, and this is just like a deep tournament type thing. But he's flashed a little bit of upside along the way. Mark Hubbard as well at 6'3". Hasn't had many good finishes, but when you're coming down here, just hoping that the guy makes a cut. I think Hubbard can get by and make the cut. The other guy at 6'3", I'm not going to mention. I can't steal AP's boy, so I'm going to let him talk about that. And then last one would be Bo Hogue at 6.2K. 3 straight missed cuts, but prior to that, he had a 32nd at Genesis, 26 at Arnold Palmer. Again, just deep flyer type tournament plays. Nothing where you're playing these guys like 20 or 30%. I think, Millie Maker type plays.
Yeah, I like it. Uncle T, talk to me about this range.
Yeah, it feels like, doing these shows, every week with you guys, we kind of feel like we gravitate towards the cheapies in the same fashion, just because, again, we're not looking for, a high upside down here. We're looking for, like Hoop said, a made cut, maybe a top 25 or 30 finish by one of these guys is probably going to win you some money. Doug Gim, for the reasons you mentioned, we've been on him quite a bit this year. And again, 6,900 in this type of a field, it feels like he should be a couple more $100 more expensive. So I like me some Doug Gim. Matt Neesmith seems like he's a little bit underpriced as well relative to the field. So I like Neesmith a little bit. As we go down, I was thinking about, and I know you guys are going to laugh at me, I want to get your take. Brant Snedeker. Now hear me out. He's not been good, but he's coming off a 6th place finish and then a miscut prior to that. But he has great course history. He's only $6,800. He's probably going to make the cut. He probably won't miss cut here. He's played well here in the past. He's coming off a little momentum with that 6th place finish. I'm kind of hesitant to click his name because he could easily burn me, but at 6,800, I think he's going to be in my player pool. As you go down, the guys you mentioned, Seifert and Richie Rowinski, definitely going to be on both of them two guys. I'm glad the Hoop didn't mention Jim Furyk because I was going to probably interrupt him and tell him, no, don't put his name on there. Jimmy's just past his time. He needs to go full time on the old circuit. I like the Nick Taylor call. I like playing him a lot of times on Showdown weekends as well when he makes it, because he always has a tendency where if he plays well, he'll shoot 3, 4, 5 under for you. And if he kind of gets things going the other way, maybe he'll throw a 74, 75 up. So it's kind of a boom or bust with Nick Taylor. So I like that call. They got the chalk down here that I'm not sure what I want to do with is Patton Kizzire. There was 3 or 4 guys that we've mentioned that are mispriced. Patton Kizzire in this field is grossly underpriced. He should easily be 71, 72, 7,300 in this field. So the only thing I'm worried about, he's coming in like 9-10% at this price, and that goes against what I want to do. But man, Patton Kizzire, it feels like he's got a huge upside in value for $6,500. And then I did have one other guy all the way down here, Tyler Duncan, 6,100. AP, I think you and I played him a couple times this year. He's not safe down here. None of these guys are safe, but at 6,100, he's shown some upside to be able to get off to a hot start in some of these tournaments. And again, at 6,100, maybe we can get a week where he gets through 4 rounds.
That Patton Kizzire call is a really good one, actually, because this is a guy that's usually in a field like this, 6,900, 68, maybe 7. So I like that. And, his ball striking's good. Usually it's his putter that's very good. And I believe he plays good like in Texas, but he's coming off a T9 at the Valero Texas Open. So there you go. It's a good call. So like for me in this range, Doug Gim is just clearly like, if he was 7,400, even if he was like 77, 7,600, I would have interest in him. I think he's underpriced here. I think I like his game. Like, it's not a long course. he's not a long hitter. I think his game is very good, and I think he'll be the most popular in the 6K range too. Maybe around 10% owned, something like that. Ton of interest in him. Brant Snedeker, I think that's another interesting call. A guy that isn't very difficult to get overweight on, who can go low randomly. He's been bad. He might be up there with Jimmy Furyk as like past his time, but finished T6 at the Valero Texas Open. So there is maybe a sign of upside there. So maybe we get on him early before he gets into a groove. Who knows? I like that call. Stuart Sink is one of the guys that I think is underpriced too. He looked good last week, and it's a Masters. He had his son on the bag, but T19, T12 last 2 weeks, has some history here. I think he's playing fine. I'm not going to have a ton of him, just, a little bit of interest. I love the Nick Taylor call. He missed he really hit, meets the criteria of what we're looking for. Good ball striker, guy that can make the cut at a place like this. But for me, we got to get down. So a couple guys. One, Scott Piercy, I think is interesting. 6,300. His form isn't the best at all, but he has made 3 cuts in a row. But if you look at this, he has a T3 here. He has a T16 and a T53. So he's out of the last 5 years, he's missed the cut twice and he's made the cut 3 times. 6,300. He's a guy that, if he gets it going, he definitely has upside at a course like this. It's just his form's really bad. Wesley Bryan is in a similar boat. He's a former winner here. I think maybe people could get on him at that low price tag since he won here, but his form is obviously bad. My favorite play though, Chesson Hadley. We're on him at the Valero Texas Open, finished T23. He was right there at the end, and he just he let it get to him, and he really struggled on that final day. He's from the East Coast. He's a North Carolina guy. I follow him all on social. I know he's putting in a lot of work on his game. He's a good ball striker, knows this course very well, has some good history here. Has a T7 back in 2018. I know this guy likes where his game's at. I know one of these times, I don't know if he's going to be a winner, but I think he's going to be close, like T5, right in the hunt there. And this is a course where he could do it at. So his ball striking and, especially, when he's firing at pins, that part of his game is very good right now. And his putting is very good. The only thing that worries me is his around the green game has not been good at all. And so if he's not hitting these greens, he could definitely miss the cut. So he's not going to be like a workbench play this week, like he was at the Valero Texas Open because of that, because he is someone who could definitely miss the cut here, but I think he has a ton of upside. So for me, if I put it look, he's projected to be 2% owned or sub 2%. If I put him at, 10 to 15%, I'm way over the field on him, and I'm mixing and matching. And that's that's why I'm really starting to embrace this multi-entry strategy. So all of exposure to him. So my favorite plays in this range, Doug Gim, obviously, and then Chesson Hadley is my number 2. Hoop, did you have kind of a 1 and 2?
I think 1 is going to be Seifert. I like Seifert quite a bit. 2 is Nick Taylor.
I like it. Uncle T?
Yeah, real quick before I give you my picks, somebody in chat was asking about Doc Redman. There's just no way I don't think I can click on Doc Redman's name. He's a guy we played at the end of last year, and similar to Burns, he just kind of lost it a little bit. So I'm going to definitely take a wait and see approach on Doc Redman. But for the price, I understand it. He's probably, if he can get through the cut, he'll pay off that price tag, but he's not for me.
Man, how far is he fallen? I mean, so much hope. A lot of people thought he was going to be a guy that took that big leap on tour, and big time disappointment.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, but my guys in this range are, number 1, I'm going to go Patton Kizzire. I'm probably going to stick with him, even though, again, it's kind of going against my cheap $63, $64, $6,500 range, where I don't want a guy that's that over, that high owned. But I'm going to go Patton Kizzire. I think he's underpriced. And Doug Gim will be my number 2 guy. But I may change that to – actually, let me change that to Snedeker. I think I'm going to warm up to some Brant Snedeker this week and hope that I can catch him on a good week.
Those are 2 interesting calls. I actually really like those. Hoop, what about you?
In the 6K range?
Yes.
Yeah. I said Seifert and Taylor.
Yeah, that's right. Gotcha.
Yeah.
All right, guys, let's go to the final part of the show. Let's do our winners. We always do it just whoever we think is going to win, and then a long shot win, our long shot winner. Uncle T, do you have yours ready to go?
I don't. Go with Hoop. I'm between 2 guys up top. Hoop, you got yours ready?
Yeah, I'm ready to rock and roll, man. I mean, we talked about this guy at length. I'm going Corey Connors. He's going to ship it just to own all the haters. All the haters out there, all the doubters and all the haters of Corey Connors. He's going to get it done and ship this week. Corey Connors up top, coming down low for more of a long shot type pick. I want to say Kirky. That's maybe a little bit too easy because we all like Kirky. So give me Matt Wallace. Matt Wallace is a long shot.
I like those picks a lot. Uncle T?
Yeah, I was between 2 guys. I'm going to settle on Daniel Berger up top. I just think that for the reasons we all talked about at the top, he's just a good ball striker. This is a ball striker's course. You got to be able to put it in play. You got to be able to get it on the green. You got to be able to putt. So I really like – he got 3rd here last year. I think he gets it done this year. Daniel Berger's my guy up top. And my guy down below, AP, I'm going to take my main man, Adam Hadwin, as my long shot of the week because he's going to bring me some lunch courtesy of AP next week.
I like it. I like that a lot. Yeah, okay. So for me, one of them definitely is Abe Answer, 30-1. I love the odds on him. Love his upside. Got 2nd here. He's going to get a win here really soon. Trying to find someone that was, I mean, I feel like Daniel Berger. I'm not like he's one I love. I love that pick. Kirky too easy, but he's one I wanted to take as well. I'm going to take Kirky. He's 60-1. That's going to be my 2nd guy. Cause I'm like, I like Hadwin, but I don't, he's not going to win. I think he could get.
None of these guys down
10.
here got any win equity. Come on, that's why.
Kirky does.
Yeah, but
Kirky does.
Kirky's $500. He's $400 more expensive than that.
I got you. Cool. All right, boys. Any final thoughts for this week?
Yeah, looking forward to this event. I mean, the field's actually a lot stronger than I kind of anticipated. I mean, we have some guys that I think have a chance. Should be a wide open event in terms of who wins it. But I think we're on the right track for DFS. I mean, I hope everyone finds these shows to be helpful. I think we're doing a good job of guiding in the right direction. So excited to watch this one play out.
Hoop, have you been playing? So like DC got me on. So this Tigers guy, Akil Badu.
Man, he is good.
No one plays him. I played him tonight. He's batting 8th. Home run right out of the gate and just he's just crushing.
No one plays him because he bats 8th or 9th, and no one will play him.
No, it's just the Tigers they're kind of in they're getting hot right now. Man, love to see it. Uncle T, final thoughts this week.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. Again, a week after the major, everybody's kind of a little bit of a hangover, of the big tournament, but not us. I mean, we get back in there and grind. We doesn't matter what tournament it is, we're going to try to find the winners. We should have our playbook up sometime tomorrow and our tiers and our cores. So don't forget to check those out. And also, again, last week it helped me tremendously on Saturday and Sunday. Don't forget the Showdown stuff on the weekends. Snyder does a great job of putting that together Thursday through Sunday. If your main teams aren't looking so hot, you can still make some money up on the Showdown slates.
Yep.
I like it. And I agree with both of you guys. And with that, we will end it with that. With me, AP, Uncle T, and Hoop, let's all run Pier this week.